so goodness.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this very special gathering today where we have the fourth part of Yolanda and Oliver's Masterclass. I have to say thank you to Karen Higgins, who emailed me to tell me that the link I had sent out was wrong. I'd omitted one digit when I copied and pasted it. So I hope, well, everybody's here, so I hope that other people have seen the update that I sent out. Thanks for that, Karen.
No
So,
problem.
welcome, Oliver and Yolanda. It's lovely to have you back again. Really looking forward to this final part of your masterclass, which is called Expressing Our Part of the Indispensable Quality as the God is Reality. So over to you guys.
Well, good morning, everyone.
We are so excited to see you all because we were so disappointed last week. But, life happens, right?
I wasn't disappointed.
You were whining, but it's okay.
I was whining like a baby.
He
I'm
was
not going to be with
whining like
my
a baby.
mighty companions today. Oh,
He was.
I'm going to change my internet service.
He sure did. All right.
Well, it is so refreshing to be in your presence. And we really mean that. Don't we mean that?
We mean that.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot of information to cover.
Oh, my God. It did give us 5 additional days to dig deeper, didn't it?
It did.
And dig deep did we do. And you're going to get it today. So we're going to start out first by doing a little meditation. Okay. And we're going to read some very heartwarming passages from the Course. Some of you may be familiar where we're reading from. You may not be, but we'll wait to the end to tell you where we got these goodies from. So everybody sit back, relax, and enjoy. It is going to be a day of rejoicing.
So let's all take a deep breath in. And release the breath slowly. Deep breath in again. And release slowly. Now just relax the breath. I thank you, Father, for these holy ones who are my brothers as they are your sons. My faith in them is yours. I am as sure that they will come to me as you are sure of what they are and will forever be. They will accept the gift I offer them because you gave it me on their behalf. And as I would but do your holy will, so will they choose. And I give thanks for them. Salvation's song will echo through the world with every choice they make. For we are one in purpose, and the end of hell is near.
And joyous welcome is our hand outstretched to every brother who would join with us in reaching past temptation and who looks with fixed determination towards the light that shines beyond in perfect constancy. Give us our own, for they belong to you. And can you fail in what is but your will? We give you thanks for what our brothers are. And as each one elects to join with us, the song of thanks from earth to heaven grows from tiny scattered threads of melody to one inclusive course from a world redeemed from hell and giving thanks to you.
And now we say, Amen. For Christ has come to dwell in the abode you set for him before time was, in calm eternity. The journey closes, ending at the place where it began. No trace of it remains. Not one illusion is accorded faith, and not one spot of darkness still remains to hide the face of Christ from everyone, from anyone. Thy will is done complete and perfectly, and all creation recognizes you and knows you as the only source it has. Clear in your likeness does the light shine forth from everything that lives and moves in you. For we have reached where all of us are one, and we are home where you would have us be.
And so it is.
And so it is.
All right. Well, if you was wondering, we were reading from the final chapter in the text of A Course in Miracles, chapter 31, and it is actually the last three paragraphs, 10, 11, and 12. I think that is a beautiful prayer that Jesus wrote, and
That's that's under the section 8. Choose once again.
yes. So that's the breakfast of champions, and that's a good way to start this session. And so we're going to get right into the day's lesson 4. So I'm going to be sharing my screen.
Our equipment is in the way. All right.
Okay. Susan, can you give us a confirmation you can see that?
Yes, I can see it.
Uh-oh.
Okay, hold on, because we don't see.
You went off full screen there. You were full screen and then you went off.
Okay.
I think you have to go back because we can't see her. So,
Susan, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
okay, we can't hear her, but she said she can hear us. She said she can hear
Why
us.
are we not hearing her?
I don't know. Can everyone else hear me? Yeah.
So everyone else can hear. We can't hear Susan though.
Can you hear me now with your headphones on, Oliver?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Why can't we hear her outside?
Mm.
You don't want to put on the headphones?
I can.
Sorry about that.
Is the volume on your computer turned down?
Yes, nothing's changed since you and Yolanda and I talked. So, we just deal with these technological impasses. We learn to pivot. We don't get flustered about them. So we have to do the headphones today. See if you can make sure you can hear, babe. Bear with us, please. Oh, my mother's on today. Well, good morning, Catherine.
I noticed Catherine Blue with the blue headband.
Yes.
Oh,
looking radiant.
I'm hearing here. Okay.
Say something, Susan. See if you can hear.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you very clearly.
Good.
No, but it's okay. We'll go ahead. No, it's okay.
I just want to send some love to Lynn as well, who I see is nursing a sore arm, I'm assuming from your vaccination.
Yes.
Lynn, we got vaccinated yesterday as well. Oliver and I did. All right.
So you need to share again. So we're not seeing a share. That's it.
Are you seeing the presentation?
No, we're seeing your desktop.
Because the presentation's not up, sweetie.
There we go. That's it.
Yeah, there we go.
That's it.
Okay.
Full screen. Good.
So we're all ready to go.
Ready to rock.
All right. Well, welcome to week 4
Yes.
of our 4-week masterclass on God is, and there is absolutely, positively nothing else. Got it?
Yes. I was being strangled.
Okay.
Okay.
God is, and there is absolutely positively nothing else. And this week we're going to move from the God isness to the I and the I amness and the reality of our awareness to expressing our part as the indispensable quality of the God is reality. So, would you like to explain this DNA strand here? This is actually a symbolic. This is symbolic of a DNA strand.
Okay. So we started this study with awakening to the only reality that exists, which is God is. And after exploring all that wonderful information, we progressed over to enlightenment, where we got to experience the recognition of God is, therefore I am, which is phenomenal because I'm not left out.
So within this same one entity, God is and I am exist as the same strand.
Yes.
All right.
And then we progressed to expanding our awareness as our intrinsic nature. So we found out that while the mind is finite and compressed and limited to time, space, matter, even that doesn't matter because everything that is in the mind is pure awareness. So it's all covered.
So it's all awareness.
It's all awareness. It's all covered.
And the nature of awareness is that awareness is aware of its own nature.
Yes. Awareness is aware of being aware.
Yes.
Yes. So today we're going to get to the good and juicy, meaty part of expression, where we see what our part is in this God is reality.
Wow. So let's move on.
Yes, let's do that.
But before we do, you may want to remind us of what we learned in week 3.
Okay, so week 3, we've already mentioned that the mind is finite. All activity and experience occurs in the mind. This one I think is important. Everything that is known by the mind is an expression and reflection of the mind's own limitation. You can't go back, sweetie. Okay.
Let's see if I can.
That's okay. And being aware is the primary experience of awareness. And awareness is the knowing element in every and all experiences.
So in other words, we can't know anything or experience anything without the element of awareness.
Exactly.
Oh my God. So it's essential to our nature,
Essential.
right?
Essential.
Absolutely. Okay.
Awareness vibrates within itself and assumes the form of mind. But awareness is constant and eternal.
Meaning it's changeless.
Changeless, boundless. I mean, there's no limitations.
Wow.
There
okay.
is nothing that is not inside of awareness. Nothing. So the only substance present in the mind is pure knowing or awareness, which is why we no longer even have to, we don't have to tussle or wrestle with that concept anymore, because awareness is knowing of its being is the original, ultimate, final knowledge that remains over after every thought, feeling, sensation, and perception has vanished. So it's all in there.
It's all awareness.
It's all in there.
Wow. Okay. So, given the foundation that we have laid for week 1, 2, and 3, today we're going to turn our attention to the part and the role that we play, because we have accepted these truths for ourselves.
Yes.
And so, what is the part and the role that we play in God's plan for salvation or for awakening?
Well, let's get into it and see.
All right.
I'm going to read from A Course in Miracles. This is in the workbook, part 1. This is our lesson number 169. And I'm going to be reading paragraph 11, sentences 1 through 5. That's the Bible part.
That's your old church brain, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Sentences 1 through 5. Suffice it then that you have work to do to play your part. The ending must remain obscure to you until your part is done. It does not matter, for your part is still what all the rest depends on. As you take the role assigned to you, salvation comes a little nearer each uncertain heart that does not beat as yet in tune with God.
Okay, so today, again, we're turning our attention to the part that we play now that we have accepted this reality of our God isness, am, I amness, our I
I
amness,
amness,
and the reality of our nature of being aware of all of this.
yes.
So we turn our attention today to our role in the part that we play. And this last sentence says, salvation comes a little nearer to each uncertain heart that does not beat as yet in tune with God. So the focus here is on the hearts that don't beat as yet in tune with God, or don't have the awareness of their I amness, their God isness. And so we turn our attention to the part of the sonship that is still maybe a little asleep.
So it's really just that they are not aware of their awareness.
Absolutely.
And because they're not aware of it, have not accepted it.
Because they are in an endless, changeless uh, state of innocence and oneness, and it's all encompassing. So that means that no one or no thing is excluded.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes. So what is our part? Or you may ask yourself the question, what is my part, or what is my responsibility now that I am aware and awake to these truths and these realities that are true always? Is it for me to just bask in them? Or is it for me to express these truths in this incarnation that we've been given, this lifetime that we have been given? So we're going to be getting into the purpose.
Well, I'm going to answer
Yes.
that question.
Yeah.
It is for you to bask in.
Oh, it is for us to bask in.
That was the lesson where we were to abide and to rest.
And to rest.
So it is for you to bask
Right.
in.
Right.
And it is also for you to reflect and express, which we'll see in a little bit. So you get to do both of those.
Okay. So we're going to share with you now from A Course in Miracles what the original author, which is Love, is the author. Helen called that love Jesus. You may call that love whatever you want to. It doesn't matter. Love is love. And so we're going to get into what the Course says about what is the essential, our essential part to God's plan for salvation.
So after having done the study in weeks 1, 2, and 3, now reading lesson number 169
From beginning to end.
has a different perspective.
Yes.
So there's so much more that we see in that now than we did in the beginning.
Right. It's like a complete symphony.
Yeah.
That in this workbook lesson, what is being communicated is our individual awakening. And then what we become aware of as we move through this, God is and there is nothing else, is the reality that without us, without you, without anything, the sonship is not complete. And that we play such a vital role in the completion of the sonship in time and space, because in reality, the sonship has never changed.
Exactly.
As Yolanda read in the meditation, the last two sentences said that the reality is that we are at home with God where he would have us be.
Yes.
And that we're only on a journey without a distance.
Yes.
And what that means is that the experience that we are having is like a dream-like experience. It's a dream of separation. It's a dream of reconciliation and atonement. And then when we wake up from the dream, we realize that nothing really happened. It was just an adventure and a journey. And we said, remember in week 1, that we're gonna be going on a 4-week journey in this month of March. Let me read that. It says, this 4-week masterclass will take us on a journey of discovery as we deepen our awareness of the God is reality as being our very own.
Yes.
Boy, and this, she's got that one. My awareness has been deepened. And then it says, this truth is true always. However, our individuated experience or your personal experience of this will depend on your decision or our decision to embrace this oneness and share it with everyone who wanders in the world, uncertain, lonely, and in constant fear. And that's the part that we are reviewing today. And so let's go through a few of these essential.
Yeah. So we pulled
parts.
out some bullet points. Because this is the truth that we now have been exposed to, and this is the truth that we can accept, and then this is the truth that is true always.
Yes.
Whether we accept it or not.
Yes.
This is the truth that is true always. So now we know that an open mind can hear the call to waken. So an open mind can hear God's voice. That's in so all of this is from workbook lesson 169. So that's in paragraph 3, verse 4. All of this we've written down for you guys in the PowerPoint, and so you'll get all of these notes.
Yes.
Okay. An open mind has become aware that there are things it does not know, and thus is ready to accept a state completely different from the experience with which it is familiarly at home. That's sentence 6. So that just reminds me of the saying that people say, to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results
is insanity.
It's insanity. Well, it is crazy. Okay.
And for me, when I came to A Course in Miracles 15 years ago, it became very evident quickly to me that I didn't really know anything. Because I had embraced a lot of illusions about myself that was not true.
Sweetheart, I was trying to tell you that and you just weren't listening.
I know.
I'm joking.
I
I'm
know it.
joking.
So it became evident to me early, and I'm sure that may have been your experience, maybe not, but that I didn't really know anything. And what I had learned uh, from the foundation of separation. And like the course says, if you start out with an upside down orientation, there's no way you can get to the truth.
Yeah.
So we have to realize early, for me in the course, that I didn't know anything. All I knew was the fables and the fantasies and the religiosities and the all I knew was what I knew naturally, and it did not bring me peace.
And what was astounding about that is you were so faithful and loyal to that.
I was faithful and loyal to separation. I was faithful and loyal to fear.
Yeah.
I was faithful. What I really was faithful and loyal to was believing that all goodness was waiting for me on the other side of this lifetime, that I just had to struggle and fight through this period only to get my rewards after I lay down this body. And that was,
It was so contradictory to what we were reading and studying, because what we
Yeah.
were reading and studying was saying that, heaven is a state of being, and we
Yes.
could have heaven
Here
right
on
here,
earth.
right now.
Yeah. And even in the Lord's Prayer, he says it was his will that it be on earth
As it is.
as it is in heaven. Well, how is it in heaven? There's no lack in heaven. There's no sickness in heaven. There's no sadness in heaven.
So
There's no division in
So
heaven.
I love the way that you always go to the negative. You talk about it's not, it's not, it's not. And I'm always looking at it's glorious, it's wonderful, it's full of joy, it's full of, so I'm always isn't that funny how that always happens?
Well, that makes us a perfect balance.
Okay, I like balance. At any rate, I was at the point where I was like, oh my goodness, all this time I've been studying this and living and practicing this, experiencing this, and it's wrong. And I didn't want to waste any more time. So I quickly closed that door and
Yes.
moved forward
Yes.
quickly.
Yes.
So I mean, once I encounter truth, that's what I embrace.
Yes.
So I didn't have any problems letting that go. All right. We are to bear witness to the word of God, to hasten the experience of truth, and speed its advent into every mind that recognizes truth's effect on you, which is on us. The mind united with its source returns to the mind into the endless present, and like its source itself merely is. So
that's so important.
Yeah.
Our essential part to God's plan of awakening is that we come to realize that the mind that thinks that it's separated, for us to make the decision, the irrevocable decision, to allow that illusion of separation to dissolve back into its source, which is oneness. And then we embrace the reality that just like God, we merely are or merely is. Because remember, the finite mind is only the activity of awareness. And we choose, when we choose the Holy Spirit's thought system of oneness versus the ego's thought system of separation, then it's so easy to allow the mind to dissolve back into its source, which is oneness with God. And then from there, we express, our expression becomes one with the will of God, and that is for the complete awakening for the entire sonship.
Well, the mind being in that oneness and in that endless present is actually its true state.
Absolutely.
So everything else is actually what the work is.
Absolutely.
Everything else. So the next bullet point that says that the Son of God has disappeared into the Father and his Father has in him, that is just a very simple way of doing
expressing
that
oneness.
Yeah, that oneness.
Jesus used this line of speaking when he was in his incarnation. He says, I and the Father are one. He said, when you seen me, you seen the Father. So he was expressing his oneness with his source and had therefore no longer embraced any idea of separation. He had let go of every idea of being separated.
Yes.
By saying, I and the Father are one. And then remember, we used a scripture in week 3 where it says, when Jesus was in his incarnation as a man, he thought it not robbery to be equal with God.
Yes.
Because even in the natural, Yolanda and I have 3 beautiful children. And even now that our kids are out of the house and they have their own place, their own lives, when they come back to our home, they don't ask us, can they go in the refrigerator? They don't ask us if they can use the bathroom. They don't ask us, any of those things. They have a sense of oneness and innocence with us that they feel like what is ours is theirs, and was I don't know about what is theirs is ours, but I know they practice their oneness with their parents.
Well, I'm confident that if we made a request, we would see that what is theirs is ours because they're generous like that. So,
but we actually, when we go to their home, we ask.
Well, that's because we are demonstrating that they are our peers and they're not in subjection to us as children.
Right.
They are adults. And so we are now peers.
Oh,
and we don't go to our other friends, our other adult friends' house and just
and not respect their
roughshod, even though they say, oh, make yourself at home. We don't do that.
So that's one thing that we have dissolved back into the Father, that we've given up our parental role.
We will always be, and we are always their parent, but our time for parenting our children is over.
Yes.
So now they are adults, we are adults, and we're no longer
we're equals.
Yes. Well, we've always been equals.
Yes.
We just had a time of where we were stewards over, we were governors.
Right.
Over
until they got to a point where they can
over the teaching and guiding, because we were never governors over them. It was just the teaching and guiding.
Absolutely.
To get them to the point where they could do it on their own.
So our kids have a sense of belonging, a sense of oneness, not a sense of separation, where we are concerned, because they fortunately got the benefit of Yolanda and I wanting to know what the will of the Lord, the will of God was, and these magnificent teachings of A Course in Miracles and the Way of Mastery and all these other resources and teachers of God. We were benefiting from those sources while we were bringing the children up. And so we realized early that there was some knowledge that we could get that could help us in that area. And so now they're the beneficiary of that. So let's get back on track.
As are we.
As are we.
So the united mind with Source, in its endless presence, in the endless present, that's eternity remaining in its constant state. All right, all learning was already in the mind of God, accomplished and complete. So we make a journey that is done. And we take the part assigned, which is our role, fully recognized as perfectly fulfilled by Him who wrote salvation's script in His Creator's name and in the name of His Creator's Son. So we talk about this in the studies that we did reading the Bible, that it was a complete and finished work.
A complete work. Yes. A finished work.
A complete and finished work. So now, just looking at workbook lesson 169, it it spells out what our part is. It says in paragraph 9, line 3, it says forgive. And that's because forgiveness is the central theme that runs throughout salvation, holding all its parts in meaningful relationships.
So our number one part in the plan of salvation is forgiveness. And not the forgiveness as the world know it, but the forgiveness that says, uh, my brother hasn't done anything. The forgiveness that
the forgiveness that
says,
recognizes
right,
that nothing has been done.
nothing has been done. And basically, we're forgiving ourselves for embracing the false illusion about who we are.
Yes.
That's what we're really forgiving. Forgiving uh, but ourselves for believing in being separated from source, being
Yes.
separated from the Father. And once we do that, we realize that all things are forgiven. That's an all-encompassing exercise that we do. And it, of course, also says that forgiveness is the very thing that is next to heaven here on earth.
Yes.
It's the closest thing to heaven on earth. It's when we forgive, meaning when we let go of all the false illusions about who we are and we embrace the truth of who we are, which is changeless.
Well, that's what salvation the purpose of salvation is for us to um, understand that the idea, that mad idea of separation,
It doesn't
never
exist.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, all right, our other part is to be the face of Christ. That's in paragraph 3, sentence 4. No, yes, no, paragraph 13. No. It's paragraph 3, sentence.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't change.
It's
It's in
13. It's 13, and it's sentences 3 and 4. I'm sorry, I forgot my own annotation there.
Yes.
But it tells us to be the face of Christ, a clear reflection of the unity that was seen when we went behind the veil, and we bring that reflection as a to bless the world.
Yeah.
And as a witness to the truth.
Yeah. So when we wake up, and all of us here in this environment have done that, when we wake up to the reality of oneness, and all there is the one thing, and that we're all connected to the one thing, and we all share the one love, the one presence, the one source. Mm-hmm. When we realize that, that's an all-inclusive reality, regardless of what is appearing on the outside that looks totally contrary to oneness. In other words, the world outside of being awake, the world that is still asleep, is a world of separation and multiplicity. But the world, real world, or real Christ vision is when we see the oneness that we are, and the Course described that as embracing the face of Christ.
Yes.
And then now we take this expression into a world of separation, knowing the truth. This is the witness to the truth. Mm-hmm. That is our part in the plan for awakening.
Yes. So that was paragraph 13, and that's parts of sentences 3 and 4.
All right.
I missed, that was I was like, what in the world did I do there? Anyway, we're to live with the experience of grace and welcome the release that grace offers to everyone.
Wow. So
there were other workbook lessons that we read that just makes it clear,
makes it more clear,
and just makes it very, very practical.
And this is going to be a part of next week's our work for next week.
Yes.
Between now and next Saturday, you're going to be assigned workbook lesson 100 and workbook lesson 186. 186. Yes. And these only make it so plain what our role is, and it's to God's plan.
It spells it out. It says, my part is to be happy.
It's to be happy.
It's to be happy. That's workbook lesson. Okay, so this is in part 1 of the workbook, lesson number 100. That was in paragraph 7, sentence 3.
It's mentioned many times in the course
Many, many times.
that God's purpose for us is our happiness. And all of us desire to be happy. And we've run around in this lifetime, I know I have, prior to coming to an awakened moment, trying to find happiness in so many places. The course said we look where it does not reside.
Mhm.
And now that we know that all things are within us, there's nothing outside of us, then we had our happiness in our presence all the time and
Yes.
didn't know it.
So our part is also to be filled with joy so that the world can see how much God loves his son. That's in paragraph 6, sentence 3.
When you awaken to your true reality, your infinite self, you ought to be the happiest person in the whole world. You should be the happiest person in your neighborhood. You should be the happiest person in your house, your neighborhood, your community. Because this truth about who we are is beyond measure.
Mm-hmm. And God trusts us so well. Let me put it like this: creator of all things, source of everything, trusts us so much that he says that that's just us, ourself, calling to ourself.
Yes.
You know, it's just us.
Yes. You'll read in their text where it talks about that it is God calling us
Mm-hmm.
to be this expression. But then it ends up saying it is really you calling to yourself, calling to your true self,
Mm-hmm.
to be the light of the world, to be this expression of love and gratitude and joy and peace and oneness. Yes.
So in both of those lessons, lessons 100 and lesson 186, it talks, it actually delineates a lot of things of what it is not. So I didn't include that in the PowerPoint. I included what is.
We want to focus on what is.
What is. So now
Yes.
we're going to quickly move on over to workbook 180, workbook lesson 186.
Workbook lesson
because we want to be able to
186.
give time for
Yes.
questions or comments at the end. So that 186 is salvation of the world depends on me. Our minds are suited perfectly to take the part assigned to us by one who knows us well. And I dare say that he may know, the creator source may know us better than we know ourselves, because he's not distracted by any of the stuff that we do in that mind.
Right. And you're comparing the source that is changeless to the mind that has not embraced its true.
That's right.
Right.
That's
because
right.
in reality, we know ourselves.
Yes.
We're just in this lifetime, but remembering who we are.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
the reference. That's the point of reference there. It says, your Father remembers you and offers you the perfect trust he holds in you who are his son. That's just it's so different than what I grew up thinking.
God has complete trust in us. Yeah. The Holy Spirit has complete trust in us that we will fulfill our purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
It does not ask you to be, this is so phenomenal to me. It does not ask you to be different in any way from what you are.
Your life has been perfect just the way that it has unfolded. And so,
well, it's not even so much that your life is perfect the way it's unfolded. What it is you are perfect.
You are perfect just the way.
And anything that has happened in your life can work to your good.
Will work to your good.
Yeah. So it's not that.
So we should not have any regrets.
No, because we can learn lessons.
Yes, absolutely.
And if we learn lessons, then we benefit and those around us benefit.
Absolutely. So, because remember, every experience that you've ever had in your life, that's what it is. It's just an experience.
It's an experience.
And if it had been an experience in error, errors can be what? Corrected.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we can be certain only that he, source, knows our strengths, our wisdom, and our holiness. Wow. And if he deems us worthy, then
So we are.
so we are.
So it is.
So this is really boiling down to we are to do as God's voice directs us.
Absolutely. And that voice is our own internal voice, or own internal God is within all of us.
Mhm.
God is always directing us.
Mhm. So there are two main points that came out of lesson 186, and that is that love must give, because what is given in his name takes on the form most useful in a world of form.
Absolutely.
Such grace and mercy.
Yes.
And then the other theme was forgiveness, which is that it's an earthly form of love, which in heaven has no form.
Because forgiveness is not necessary
That's right.
in the place that is changeless.
That's right.
So the choice we have to make is the voice of God, or the voice, the distorted image of the voice that gives a distorted image of ourselves, which the course called the ego.
Yes.
So we have to make choices daily in every moment, which voice that we choose to listen to.
Yes.
The voice of God speaks for creator of all things.
Yes.
And knows all things exactly as they are.
Yes. Whereas the distorted image of self is confused, bewildered, inconsistent, unsure of everything.
Yes. So this is kind of the end of our.
So this week for
teaching.
the practices, read 169, and hopefully that's going to, you're going to have some greater
Understanding.
insight and understanding. And then, of course, continue with the God is and I am meditations and declarations during your quiet time or whatever time you choose.
Yes.
And then, there is also the reading in the manual for teachers section in the Course in Miracles. You're going to read, this is the part right after the introduction. Who are God's teachers? That's under number 1. That's paragraphs 1 through 4. And who are their pupils? Who are God's teachers and who are their pupils?
Paragraph 2, sentence 1 through 5.
Mhm.
And we also want to continue this week resting in our reality of oneness, resting in God,
Resting as God.
resting as God, because that's who we are, and just stand in a place of rest, because it is from this place of rest that we express, that we choose the type of expressions that we have in the world.
Mhm. So who is the real you?
Who is the real you? Who's the real me? Who's the real you? We are the I am.
I am.
I am. And truly, the real you is love.
All right.
All right. Okay, Susan, that concludes the actual lesson for this week. And now we just want to open it up for questions or comments.
With the box.
Thank you very much, Oliver and Yolanda. Does anyone have a question that they would like to ask? Or Rico? I'll go to Rico and then to Kerry, please. So
Yes.
Rico, if you unmute.
For my question, I'd like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Blue for the master classes. They're very useful and very practical. And I'm a man of application, so I have something to do from this day forward. So thank you so much. I wanted to ask the Blues and Susan, are we meeting Monday?
No, we're not.
No Monday.
No, I was going to say that at the end. Once we've finished with this part, I'll tell you what's happening next.
Okay, I was practicing my clairvoyancy. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Perry, would you like to unmute yourself, please?
Yes.
Yep.
There you go.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hey, Carrie.
My question is, what do you guys think? So there's awareness, and then there's an experience. Is experience awareness sort of, I don't know, like folding in on itself, or kind of touching itself? I don't, for some reason, I'm thinking a lot about what is awareness and what is experience.
They're one and the same.
Okay.
If you look at are you currently looking at a computer screen to view this Zoom meeting? Or are you looking
Yes.
at, okay, now look at this screen. Just think about the screen as awareness. And that the screen is always there. Even when we sign off here in about 10 minutes, the screen will be gone, but the activity of the screen will be gone. All these different faces will be gone, but the screen will still be sitting there. It's a permanent, unchanging source. And on the screen displays all the different activities. But the screen is permanent. It is really the source of all the activity that goes on your computer screen. That is a great metaphor to compare awareness to activity or to experience. Awareness is this boundless, unlimited field that provides the source for everything, and everything is included within this field. And so when we have the experience of having an incarnation, which is what we're having, that in order for us to relate to time and space, the agent that relates to time and space is a mind that we have, which basically is an agent that connects us to this physical world and all the activity of this physical world, including your thoughts, your emotions, your perceptions.
So that would be experiences.
Your experiences, all your experiences, whether it's just drinking a glass of water, that's an experience. That's just an activity that goes on within the field of awareness. Nothing is outside of awareness. So but these activities are not constant. They are not eternal. You just have an experience.
Because you can start and end an experience,
But awareness is always present.
So if you think of experience happening in the mind, and just remember that the mind is finite, meaning that the mind is going to be subject to time, space, matter,
limitations.
So it filters everything through that limitation of, it has to be an experience that has a beginning, that has an end, it has some things that happens in the middle. Whereas awareness always is, never stops. And so that every experience is in awareness. So we really don't have to wrestle anymore with any of that, because all of it's covered.
All of it.
All of it is covered.
Yeah.
Because see, so this goes back to that whole thing where we were struggling over ego and spirit. It doesn't matter, because we can actually use that mind, we can use that experience to expand our understanding and our acceptance of awareness.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, does that help?
It
Yeah.
does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because
Yeah.
without awareness, you can have no experience. Without awareness, you can have no thought.
Right.
It happens within the field.
Okay.
But then what happened in the separation is that we believe that the activity of the mind or separation was possible to be outside of awareness,
So
which
that
the
now,
course calls it the tiny
Yeah.
mind idea of separation.
so that now there are individuals with different separated individual thoughts, having individual activities,
experiences, yeah.
experience. But that's not it at all, because actually, after doing this course, we see there is the unity, there is the oneness
It's only the
of,
one.
remember, it is God's thought of himself. That's what his spirit is. That's what connects all of us. That's what keeps all of this as the one.
Right.
Mm.
So your personal localized experience of having this incarnation as Carrie, that's not who you really are. That's just an experience that you are having.
It's an expression.
And in
Yeah.
that experience, you are expressing
Yeah.
what you believe or what you know. So every human being is always teaching or demonstrating what they believe by what they're expressing of themselves. Are they expressing separation, which we see it on high display right now in our current world? Or is your life expressing oneness? That we're all one. That there is no separation, there is no difference, that we're all one, but different expressions of the same oneness. We all are a part of this one expression of love, this one love. When you come to awake to that reality, your whole life changes. The course calls it Christ vision. I see differently now. I understand the oneness. And so now I dedicate my life to the one will of the Father, that is to use this awareness and understand my essential role in the plan of waking up all of the sonship.
And that is by demonstrating
How
love, much the Father loves us by how we love other people. And the reason that you, Carrie, are so vitally important is because there are specific people, specific expressions of, individuals,
yes,
who are assigned to you.
Mm.
So
and watching your life,
yeah,
involved in your life, just like some other being was instrumental in helping bringing you to this place of awareness. Somebody helped you, whether it was a teacher or a book or something.
Right.
Right. And likewise, you realize that your life now is just not for you to live and retire and, whatever, and just die. I mean, just leave. No, you're here now as part of, you understand that those that heart does not beat in tune with God, they're still asleep. So you're realize that your life now can be used to help wake up your brother through your demonstration of love and forgiveness and your expression of oneness. And however that best works out in your life, it's all different because we all have a unique expression. We're all very unique. There will never be another Carrie. There will never be another Yolanda or Oliver or Catherine or Susan or Chuck or we're all a unique expression. It never happened this way before, the way it's happening in your expression right now. And when you realize that, and not only that it's happening, but that God sees you, needs you as a vital part for the awakening of the entire sonship. That's how beyond this world that you are. That's how important you are. Yes.
So see, I dare say that some of us thought when we started this masterclass that, there is God and nothing else, that immediately we're like, well, what about me? I mean, why am I here? I mean, we are so incredibly important and integral in making certain that all of this, all of this unfolds. Because what happens is those whose heart does not yet beat in tune with God, those are the people who, and we see them, they do things like, what happened at the supermarket. I mean, we see that,
Right.
those kinds of things. So it is important for us to make certain that we demonstrate and show people that there is another way. There's a better way.
There's a better way.
There's a better way.
That's what you're here to now to demonstrate. There is a better way. Okay. That was a long response. How about it, Susan? We got anyone else that would like to come on here?
Carrie. We appreciate your
Carrie.
question. Yeah.
Thank you, Kerry. Anyone else have a final question?
Let's see who's on the other page.
Oh, we have 2 pages?
Oh, Carol has raised her hand. Unmute yourself, Carol.
I just want to say namaste and thank you with much love and gratitude. And once again, I am going to put in a plug for Rupert Spira's The Nature of Consciousness.
Yeah.
Oh, Yolanda and Oliver have done such a beautiful, beautiful job of talking about awareness and bringing it home to our heart. Spira's book will help you understand this. He very methodically takes you through everything. You read it and you just float along and come to an awareness of awareness as itself. So thank you again. It's been a pleasure sharing this with all of you. And I look forward to seeing you at the Pure Presence Conference.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank you, Carol.
Rupert does a phenomenal job of, he repeats the principle, and he restates it in so many different ways.
Yes.
That, we're bound to get it, because one of those is going to be the aha,
And going to
It's going to-
resonate with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yes.
So he most certainly does. It is a phenomenal book. And if you like to hear, remember, he's on YouTube. Bill and I don't know,
Torres.
Amy Torres did an interview with him. That was, I think it was December 2016 that was on there. So you get to hear, Rupert has a very calm, soothing, meditative voice. So you get to hear, and the neat thing about it is Rupert is not he's not a Course in Miracles student.
No.
So they're actually, sharing some of the principles with him, and he's thinking about it, and it's a great interview. It really is.
There are actually 2 interviews. There was a
Yes.
second part.
Yeah.
Bill and Amy Torres with Rupert. Yeah.
We listen to the whole thing. So for us, part 1, part 2, that was just a chance to jump up and go get some water.
Yeah.
But it is an absolutely phenomenal. They did a great job.
Well, let me make this final statement, Susan, and I'll turn it over. We'll turn it over to you. Our God isness, which we learned in week 1, and our I amness, which we learned in week 2, is a vast, boundless, empty, self-aware space or field in which all expression of oneness in every thought of God is displayed and experienced. And it is from this resting place of awareness that all expressions are born. And your being here is part of that expression, is that unique expression.
Yes.
It was born out of awareness. Expressions has as its goal to teach a thought system of oneness. The alternative is a thought system of separation. You can only give and extend to yourself. This you learn through teaching, and to teach is to demonstrate. So all about what we're saying in this week's lesson about expression is that your life is a demonstration of your belief.
Mm-hmm.
And we all agree here that we believe in the truth that is true always, which is I and my Father are one and the same.
Yes.
So next week, and Susan will talk about next Saturday, but we'll get into some more practical things about how that expression is working out in your individual life.
Can we just say thank you so much for you guys devoting your time and your attention to be in this class with us. We learned an awful lot, and you're responsible for that, and we are so grateful and appreciative.
Yeah, I could honestly say that Yolanda and I have been somewhat in a teaching role for about 30 years.
For 30 years.
And we've done a lot of content creation, and I don't think we've delved as deep in any one subject as we have in this one.
Well, this is the subject that so resonates with us. I mean, 30 years ago, we this is what we were doing. We wanted to know who we truly were.
Right.
And we knew that we couldn't know, we knew that we had a wrong idea about God. Not that we wanted to, but we were already so conflicted because what we were hearing and what we were studying were not the same.
It wasn't aligning with us.
And
yeah.
so 30 years ago, I and my father are one. That was one of the things that we kept saying, wait a minute, what are we going to do with this? So this is something, this is really what we love. We love letting people know that, God is not angry, or the creator, source, whoever it is that you want to call him, not angry with us. Loves us, trusts us, wants everything that we want. He wants that source, that creation wants that for us.
Yes.
And so once we can, stop fighting or stop hiding or stop doing all the things that we do, then we get to the point that we just accept and embrace that love.
Yes.
And then we can actually extend and express that love to other people. Oh, the world is just such a much better place.
Yes.
When we do that.
And the world is crying out for this love.
So, but we have to I wanted to say that, Susan, just in case there were people that will not be on when we do the question and answer
next
part
Saturday
for this. So really, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. As Oliver and Yolanda said, next Saturday will be the Q&A session. I was just saying to Oliver before we went live how perfect it was actually that we had a gap of a week, because that normally doesn't happen. We normally go Q&A on a Saturday, new presenter on a Monday. So there are no accidents. We had this spare week. So to answer Rico's question, there's no masterclass on Monday. So we have Q&A next Saturday at 11. And on the following Monday, the 5th of April, we have Jonathan Robinson, whose topic is just a perfect follow-up to what you guys have done. It's how to awaken awareness quickly and easily. Jonathan's whole jam is about easy, quick ways to have an awareness experience, ranging, he says, from 10 seconds to, a few minutes. So he says that he's going to be explaining several things about awakening and awareness that will prove helpful when using the techniques he's going to teach us. For example, he's going to talk about how awareness is our natural state and it's covered up by ego's thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that obscures our experience of ourselves as awareness. And he's going to teach us how it's not something that we grasp towards, it's something we relax back into and give us practical ways. So I feel it's just a perfect follow-up to what you guys have done. So that's starting Monday, the 5th of April, and there will be 4 live masterclasses, 3 p.m. Eastern on the 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th of April. So we have a night off on Monday, which I don't know if you heard me say is actually my 25th wedding anniversary. So another perfect. Occurrence that I'm not required to be here.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Everything's still in lockdown in Scotland, so there's no restaurants and anything to go to. So it's just going to be a home celebration. So and we're still not allowed to see family. So it'll be an intimate dinner for 2 cooked by me.
And that's perfect too.
Perfect. Exactly.
Okay. Wow.
So thank you so much, Oliver and Yolanda, and thank you everyone else as well for coming and for sharing with us and taking part in this wonderful month together. Look forward to seeing you next Saturday for Q&A. So come with your questions and comments for Oliver and Yolanda. Thank you so much, guys.
You guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a lovely week.
Thank you.